Hey there, us Green Divas are still here.
Reinventing ourselves yet again.
This time we're going to be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
And if you missed that, you can find us in all the usual places.
We're still here sharing low-stress ways
of living a deeper shade of green.
Turn your phone off.
My phone's Oh.
Turn your phone off. Hey,
that's okay. Mine's ringing too.
Everybody, put their phones on stun.
Mine just started ringing too.
It's like, hey, because people are saying, hey, I just saw you're on YouTube and on Facebook.
Hey, it's the Green Divas.
Hey, you know, I used to imagine people calling me on the radio, go, hey, you're on the radio. Well, yeah, I know I'm on the radio.
Really?
Okay. Well, I should let you guys take over at this point. I'm Green Diva Mike, but some folks know me as Mike Nowak from the Mike Nowak Show with Peggy Malecki, and that gets a ding.
You mean Green Diva Peg? I love that.
Diva
Green
Peg.
Diva Meg and Green Diva Peg.
Green Diva Mike.
And Green Diva, he spells it incorrectly, but we love him anyway.
No, that's the way it's spelled. We all know that. That's how it's spelled. So we're trying this again. We tried this a couple of weeks ago, and we had some internet issues. Isn't that always the case? It's always about the darned internet.
Curve.
Yeah, we are. But I'll tell you what, Green Diva Meg, why don't you explain the Green Divas to everybody who's watching this and all three of them, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, we love our three fans.
All right.
So, hi everyone. I'm Green Diva Meg.
I'm Green Diva Lisa.
And
whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to put the other thing up there. Operator error. I meant to put this up there. There we go. Try that again. Take two and go.
Hey everyone, I'm Green Diva Meg.
And I'm Green Diva Lisa.
And well, I don't know how you explain the Green Divas except that
we share low stress ways of living a deeper shade of green.
Well, there's that. And, you know, I have been doing media for a long time, started with a magazine. It evolved into digital radio, and podcasts. And we're all about sharing low stress ways to live a deeper shade of green and trying to get credible information out there using a sense of humor and having a good time doing it, which is why we love being with Green Devo Mike and Green Diva Peg.
And I'll take that as an opportunity to pop back in here for a second, because some folks watching might want to know why there's a piano behind you right now. Are you guys, you know?
Oh, let me do my
Unless
little
it's a
silly
special
commercial.
guest star today, but
Yeah, I know.
Today.
We got to get Tom back in here because he's the only one that knows how to play it that's in the studio right now. So we are coming to you actually live, which is kind of fun. I haven't done live radio or anything in so long.
It's
From
been a long time.
GD Ponderosa Studios, which is we had to kind of add our own ding to that. So GD Ponderosa Studios is sponsoring our new awesome streaming show.
Yeah, you can see the logo right there. Well, there's the logo for my show, and then in a second, you'll see the logo for GD Ponderosa Studios popping up.
So Mike actually visited with Kathleen, so you've seen this place. It's a 3,000 square foot professional recording studio. Mm-hmm. You're only seeing a tiny piece of it right there. The piano's a nice backdrop, though. Yeah. That is a very fancy piano that was once the touring piano not too long ago from the band Fish. And that's
and when Kathleen and I visited, it was so fun to see they had taped little sayings on the piano. Have you removed them, or are they still there?
No.
They're still there.
Because that's their last set that they played. I guess they would tape the songs in order, and so we just left them
little
there.
notations.
Yeah.
But there's actually a gigantic box that takes up like a quarter of the garage, it seems. That is their touring box for this, and it's got all kinds of stickers on it and fun stuff. Yeah.
From all the places they've been. And
so anyway, our studio, we do a lot of live music, music recording, obviously podcast recording.
Right. And audiobooks and
all kinds of fun. And we do a lot of video work now.
Live streaming concerts.
Yes, that's a new fun thing we're doing. Well, it's actually not new, but it's sort of new, and that's another story. So we're up here in 10 acres of gorgeous sort of farmland in rural New Jersey. Hard to believe, but true.
Upstate New Jersey.
Wait.
And-
That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
I know. It seems
Parts of
like
New
it.
Jersey are very rural, very gorgeous.
No,
parts of New
actually-
It's
Jersey.
the Garden State for a reason.
So we have a beautiful apartment that we offer to clients for a small fee. Very, very reasonable.
It's
That
actually my home,
Lisa's
so it's like an
apartment.
Airbnb only. They
So when
stay
a
at my home without me,
oh, that's what I was going to say. So when a client comes in, you get booted, huh, for a while.
I do.
but she gets paid for it, so it's not that bad. So anyway, yeah, this is how we describe why there's a piano behind me. Thank you for asking.
Oh, sure. No, I mean, we've got video here, so we got to let folks know what they're dealing with. So it's now become an extension of the Green Divas experience.
Which is why it's called GD Ponderosa Studios, because it was previously Ponderosa Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Some people wonder what the GD is if they don't know.
We let them wonder.
We let them wonder.
Yeah, why not? All right, so what do you guys
Fill in the blank.
Right.
what do you guys want to talk about? Because there's really been nothing going on in the world in the last few days.
Pretty boring, right?
Yeah.
Calm, peaceful.
Oh my God.
Has anybody slept well in the last, I don't know, week? Because just prior to this election nightmare thing, we had a full moon, and I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a lunatic, so I tend to not sleep as
We had
well.
the blue moon.
And the blue moon, and then Mercury was going retrograde, and now it's going direct.
That's gone. That's gone.
Meg,
Mercury's always in retrograde
right.
somewhere.
Well, it's true, and Meg is always talking about Mercury being in retrograde, so that says something about what your point of view is.
Well, my point of view is I run a digital media and recording company, which is terribly, well, I won't say terribly. I will say it is affected by,
Susceptible.
and it's okay. It's nothing fatal. It's just like what happened last time we tried this.
Like that.
Hey,
Like that.
but it's already going much better this time. But aside from the election, and actually, Peggy and I were talking about this earlier. There are already some environmental repercussions, as you know. The Green Divas and the Mike Nowak Show with Peggy Malecki talk a lot about environmental issues. I don't know if you saw the New York Times this morning, a headline of their Climate Forward newsletter, which goes out, I think, once a week. The headline is "The Green Wave That Wasn't," and it has to do, and there were a lot of waves that weren't. There was not a blue wave necessarily. There wasn't a green wave. They're just. I think people will be talking about what this election means for a long, long time, and not a lot of it is good at this point.
If we're talking about the election and the green wave and the blue wave was intended to be somewhat of a green wave. And
yes, that's the point.
we were really counting on, the Senate taking over the Senate and all that fun stuff.
Well, I have to admit, I haven't been a very good media person. I've been like an ostrich. I haven't been listening to the news. I haven't been checking in.
Well, I've basically, you saved yourself, because I was pretty devastated by the fact that we did not have the blue wave, that it wasn't an overwhelming, what's mandate or whatever, that there's that many people that still
Don't give a shit, excuse me.
well, or that still, after now seeing what 4 years has done, maybe want more, or there are more. I really thought people would be like, "Oh yeah, okay, no."
Or they're just not paying attention. They're just letting it happen. They're not reading the news. They're hearing the little snippets that come by, or what feeds to them on Facebook, which is
Right.
But what I would like to get to is actually the environmental stuff, because on Wednesday today, the 4th of November, 2020, the United States officially became the first country to formally exit the Paris
Withdraw.
Agreement on climate change.
Yeah.
Which has to do with elections and elections having consequences. Now, that can be reversed, but again, in the New York Times, what it leads to is a lot of countries in the world not trusting the United States anymore, not trusting them to keep their word. We pulled out of the Kyoto Protocol. You have to remember as well. That was not so. We got a couple of them under our belts, and a lot of people around the world look at the United States and say, "When are you actually going to lead on climate change?"
Well, not only that, but it has opened the door for other countries that have been tentative about some of this. They are now reducing their commitment level to the Paris Accord because they're like, well, if the U.S. is out, then you have.
Well,
notes.
I just
she
wanted
has
to,
notes on this.
for those who don't know exactly what the Paris Climate Accord is, and most people listening will know, but it is a non-binding global agreement in which each country puts forth a plan to lower greenhouse gas emissions with the goal of limiting global temperature increases to 2% degrees Celsius. That's the mission of the Paris Climate Accord, FYI.
And I mean, I can't remember the number of countries that signed on, but it was really impressive and unprecedented, as I recall. And everybody had financial commitments and commitments from their countries to reductions. And my understanding is that since Trump has said that he will pull out, other countries have lightened their commitment because they don't feel.
And as you were saying, Lisa, it's basically just showing that you give a rip about this. It's not a legal deal,
right?
And at the moment, obviously, we don't give a rip. About
and
it.
that we're looking to the future. Well, there's a quote here in the New York Times. Experts agreed the loss of America's global leadership and diplomatic expertise would be severe. In other words, when we pull out, that this is just, despite the bluster, had we stayed in, had we changed at the last minute, but now it's just like, we don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and the expression from number 45, his expression,
He who shall not be named.
I can't say his name right now. What he was saying was, Pittsburgh elected me, not Paris. Oh, come on. Really?
well, we don't know that yet.
This was from the last 4 years.
I know that. But this time around, Pittsburgh may not have done that. So that leads us to my segue here, because the Times also came out with another story today. The headline being, Americans may add 5 times more plastic to the oceans than thought. There's a new study that published in Science Advances, a sequel to a 2015 paper by the same authors. 2 factors contributed to the sharp increase from 2015. Number one, also bad, Americans are using more plastic than ever. And the current study included pollution generated by the United States exports of plastic waste, while the earlier one did not. And that makes sense, because if we're producing it and we're shipping it overseas, and something like 88% of it, where is that the number? It's not a good result when it gets
6.3 trillion tons of plastic. And 91% of it was never recycled.
Well, that's
Never
in the
recycled.
history of making plastic, basically.
That's
And one of the things,
Science Advances.
Oh, all right.
Well,
here's
things
the
that
number.
really surprised. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say. Here's the number is 88% ends up in countries considered to have inadequate waste management. So we're shipping 88% of the plastic we send out around the world is not disposed of properly, which means, well, we really should be disposing of it ourselves. Peggy, go ahead.
Well, it goes on after that. The study estimates that in 2016, the U.S. contributed between 1.2 and 2.2 million metric tons of plastic waste through the oceans, through a combination of littering, dumping, and mismanaged exports. But the thing that surprised me was the ranges are so wide. The quote, "There's no real standard for being able to provide good quality data on collection and disposal of waste in general." And the estimate could be somewhere from 25% to 75%. In other words, they don't know. They don't know how much is going in the environment. Somewhere between 25 and 75% is going in the oceans and the environment.
Right. And then to add to that sobering thought, that, think about all of the things that are in these chemicals. And oh my gosh,
in the plastic.
in the plastic. I mean, all the chemicals that are in the plastic itself.
Yeah.
And
that
the
becomes
endocrine disruptors.
Yeah.
And all kinds of stuff. So
Fun stuff
fun stuff
that we don't want to eat. We don't want our fish to eat, and we don't want our turtles choking on it. And
So in 2018, number 45 said, I quoted him as saying, "All the time we're being inundated by debris from other countries based on research from a study in 20." And so the study that he was quoting was from 2015 from the World Bank data, which was from 2005, which put the U.S. back then in 20th place. At 9.4 million tons. Well, guess what? These new studies, 2016, for instance, we take the bronze. We're number 3. Look, there's that fly.
I know we still have like this
Pence's
fly.
We have Pence's fly. And so, now we're just behind India and Indonesia, and we're only just behind them because we're still sending our waste there, or just stopped.
So can we just talk about single-use plastic and why, all these statistics are as big and scary as they are?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's exactly what needs to happen. We need to stop using, and there are, we're taking it.
What? That was weird. Did you
Yeah,
hear?
Are you there?
little feedback there. I don't know where that came from, but we're cool.
So here's one statistic that I came across that single-use plastic is one of the greatest threats to the environment. And according to the Hong Kong-based NGO Oceans Asia, approximately 300 million tons of plastic is produced worldwide every year, with more than 8 million of that entering oceans annually, ultimately threatening the ecosystems of marine wildlife. And the COVID-19 pandemic isn't helping. It's just not helping. I mean, there's plastic PPE, and God, I got even more statistics about that. According to Scientific American, COVID-19 triggered an estimated global use of 129 billion face masks.
Wow.
65 billion gloves. Some of it's plastic, some of it's latex, whatever. They're littered.
It's all still waste.
It's all still waste, and yeah. And oh, wait a minute. There was this weird statistic here.
Well,
if we stitch together all the masks manufactured already and projected to be produced, we'd be able to cover the entire landmass of Switzerland.
Yes,
That's big.
that's huge.
I don't really know how big Switzerland is, but seems like it's a big number, right?
Well, some research shows that 1.6 million tons of plastic wound up covering 31 miles of coastline, which weighing in the equivalent of 160 Eiffel Towers.
Wow, these are some creative ways of telling us how much plastic is out there. Remember that a couple of years ago there was a really great campaign, the Stop Sucking, that was just focused on
For the
straws.
straws,
straws.
Oh, it seemed so simple back then.
I know, right? So,
How much of this, do you have numbers for how much of the single-use plastic is consumer versus industrial and institutional?
I don't.
Wait a minute. I have.
You think about medical, for example, just within the medical community, how everything is wrapped.
Yeah, exactly. In order to be, what? Oh, there's the stop sucking thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, straws apparently are like a freaking plague. What we learned, there was a group called Lonely Whale, which I guess Adrian Grenier, that sort of eco hottie guy out there, he was very involved with them, and they created a fun little video and campaign about stop sucking because straws are among the top 5 items found in beach cleanups. And of course, you've seen that picture of the poor turtle with the straw stuck up its nose.
It's not just a photo. I mean, there was a video of it that went viral. And the good news.
Water, yeah.
The good news is they rescued the turtle and they were able to get that straw out of its nose. And, to even have to say that is just really sad, a sad commentary.
It's like one turtle out of like a million out there, right?
And so there has been a bit of a pushback on straws. Now, restaurants are actually used to having people say, no straws, please. Of course, you have to remember, and you have to hope that they don't just automatically plop down a drink. Well, of course, nobody goes to restaurants anymore, so we don't have to worry. I wonder, now, Kate, that's something to look at right now, is during the pandemic, what has happened to straw use? And I suspect it's way down.
Although I would venture in carry out, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is the straws are probably down, but the plastic involved and the carry-out stuff is probably up.
Well, yeah, as we mentioned the last time, the first attempt to do this show a couple of weeks a week, there's much more garbage, and I mean paper bags and plastic bags ending up in my house than used to. I mean, I still most of the garbage I produce is there isn't much. It's I have a 90-gallon plastic bin in my alley, which is pretty useless because usually there's one little layer at the bottom, but my recycling bin is overflowing. So we're very, and we compost the rest. But now during the pandemic, when you have deliveries, you can even mark, and we've marked some of the services that will come out to your car and put it in the trunk. We'll mark and say, please don't use paper or plastic bags, put them in boxes. And we still get plastic bags. As if nobody's paying attention to that. Yeah,
well, you are in a urban area. That's never been an option out here in the country. It hasn't.
What do you mean?
To say no plastic or whatever, it's like you get what you get, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and there's probably only so many boxes they have, and when they run out, there's the bags. I think I mentioned on the last show that Trader Joe's said, "Oh, there's a paper bag shortage right now," and they were handing out plastic bags.
Yeah.
And Trader Joe's never had plastic bags.
Right.
Although they do have a lot of boxes, and their boxes are offered up front by the register.
But my issue with Trader Joe's over the years has been they wrap so much of their produce in plastic. Yeah. It's all encased
Why
in
do we
plastic.
have to wrap a cucumber in plastic? What's that about?
They have heard your call, and they are working on it. They haven't succeeded yet, but they actually are trying to cut back on all that.
Well, you gotta give Trader Joe's a shout out because they do listen. If enough of us squawk, they tend to make change.
Yeah,
it might be slow,
and we saw that also from the digestion crate pork issues that we've talked about on the Mike Nowak Show. That Trader Joe's did change some of those policies too.
Right.
Can we get back to something that you talked about before, Megan? When we last did this, and it was about hand sanitizer. Speaking of pandemic. And some of the chemicals that are in hand sanitizer. Can you give me a little more information about that?
Well, hand sanitizers, most of them have at least one bad chemical that I'm aware of called Triclosan, which is an endocrine disruptor. It's not good for us. It's not good for the environment. They found that it's getting into the water and the soil and affecting little frogs and stuff. Triclosan is found in most hand sanitizers and a lot of foaming hand soaps, commercial or whatever, standard grades. I started making my own. It's ridiculously easy.
Me too. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, is it ever easy?
All right.
like-
Well, how do you make it?
Well, the hand sanitizer
Has to have.
has to have a lot of alcohol in it, so I just use a lot of alcohol. I use a little bit of peroxide in mine as well, and then
Essential
a couple
oil,
essential
whatever
oils that are
scent that you
really good
prefer.
antibacterial, antimicrobial, and all that fun stuff. So it pretty much kills anything, and it doesn't smell terrible. And then I make my own foaming hand soaps. I've been doing that for a lot of years. And that
And we
use,
have videos of how
Yeah.
to make these things actually on our website, thegreendivas.com.
our little DIY fun stuff.
Yes. And YouTube. Our YouTube station has some of our.
Yeah, so right. I mean, if you have the stuff around and you set
people
yourself up
do.
like, a little Dr. Bronner's, a little witch hazel, and a couple essential oils, and a foaming hand soap dispenser. And when I started doing this, I just recycled the ones that I had bought. I bought some good natural brands. Then I was like, geez, these are expensive. So instead of spending $5, I recycled the thing, made my own for maybe $1.50 total,
Yeah.
I just posted your non-toxic foaming hand soap to Facebook.
Look at you. Look at
There
you.
you
Did
go.
you
Oh,
find
oh,
Instantly, we.
Find the hand sanitizer DIY.
I'm still looking for it.
I don't think
video.
there is a
Looking
hand
for it.
sanitizer one
Oh,
yet.
I just made that up.
Yeah, there is, because I posted last time. We also have
okay.
Audrey's watching us. She says, "Hi, nice break from election roller coasters."
Good. Yeah.
Hi, Audrey.
To
whoever
talk
that
about pouring plastic into our oceans, we only have about 3 minutes left. So how do we fix
my
this?
gosh.
How do we
is.
fix
Okay,
it?
so first of all, it's just a lot about being mindful and being aware, and realizing that, what upsets me so much is I often see so much of this plastic garbage just thrown out, like the gloves that people were freaking
Oh my
out and just
gosh,
throw.
yes.
Right? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
So learn how to take the gloves off, and there is a way to do it. I'm not going to demonstrate. Put them in your car if you have to, or walk over to a garbage can and freaking
Oh my
throw
gosh.
them out. I really feel like so much of it is about just being mindful and
Yeah.
like for me, the straw thing, like learning back when we used to go to restaurants. I don't know if we'll ever do.
Making plastics and not coming up with any solutions, although they're going to be responsible. But you can boycott companies that are the worst offenders. And I will list a few right here.
Let's if we only have a couple minutes, let's talk about all the good companies. They're good companies,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good. I think.
And
go-
the
let's
ones
go
that are
positive.
recycling
Oh, you
plastics.
had that. Okay.
I don't
well,
have that
mean,
list anymore.
There are companies that are really
Those are my
making
old.
a difference. Well, and then there's the company that what the heck's the name?
Terracycle.
Terracycle.
Tom Zake's
Yeah.
company. Yes.
We've had the guy from Terracycle who started it on our show a number of times, and we really
me
love
too.
what
Me
Terracycle's
too.
doing.
Actually, I had him in my magazine featured way back in 2006 before nobody knew who he was.
Right.
Good.
At any rate, they're doing a lot of things, partnering with companies that are really trying to make an effort to not only reduce, single-use plastic, but to help people get it back to them and be used in recycling programs. Nike's another company that's doing some amazing things and trying to help people
Allbird
recycle.
shoes. Look for Allbird shoes.
Oh, those
They
are the
even
good
have
ones?
the soles of their shoe. The soles of their shoes are organic and sustainable and all of that.
And companies like
super comfortable.
Patagonia is
Right.
another one that is really working on creating clothing that's more sustainably made
Right.
and lives longer, because that's also a plastic contribution, and just textiles is a whole nother nightmare.
And they're taking it to the next level with their worn wear program,
Mhm.
where you can return
Mhm.
clothing to them, get credits for buying new, and then it's all sold online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also repurpose some of the fabrics
Yeah.
into other clothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we were talking about Nike before. Nike has a whole program where they're recycling bits of their sneakers into tracks at schools
Right.
and playgrounds and all
Uh-huh.
kinds of cool stuff for needy communities. So there's some companies out there that are really trying to make a difference, and they have heard the call.
Right.
Yeah, and one of the things that Terracycle is doing is this program called Loop, where
Yeah.
they use refillable containers, and then you get the container back, and they'll get it filled, so you're not creating a new container every single time.
Oh.
And I'm on their website, and I'm looking at seventh generation, and apparently they're working with Kroger and Walgreens as well. So there's some of the big companies they're working with them to do this. So there are
And they've launched across the country with it.
And if
Right.
you're not interested in going to those grocery stores, the other company that's doing a lot of that kind of work, and I count on them to vet different companies when I purchase from them, and that company is called Grove Market.
It's a cooperative,
and-
and they are always researching and looking for sustainably made, produced, recycled, whatever.
Yeah, you can buy their glass jars for all-purpose cleaners and all kinds
then
of
they
cleaners.
just send you
They send you just a little tiny concentrate. You add it to your glass jar that you bought, and add a bunch of water, and off you go.
and
So
then
it's
the
a
next
lot
time you
less
just get the
waste.
pouch to refill, whatever.
And then you don't have to go to the grocery store. I like that. And they are also making a commitment. They right now are plastic neutral, I believe, and they're looking to make a commitment by 2025 to be.
I'd like to be plastic neutral. I tried
no plastic.
plastic-free February once, and it was,
Try it for a day.
very
shocking.
You want to know how
Yeah.
hard it is?
Yeah.
How much plastic you have in your world? Try for one day.
It was,
And that's the plastic we even know about, not things that are in
Exactly.
films, not things that are coatings.
Right.
Yep.
We don't even know is.
Well, thank you guys for doing this, and for having a nice, clean internet connection. I'm no,
We did
it's-
it.
And no, we're going to do more of these. Every now and then we want to pop up something live, and which then, of course, lives on Facebook and on YouTube, on our various sites. So we hope that folks will stop in for some of these short form conversations and maybe learn something about making this a better planet, a greener planet.
Thank you, Green Diva Mike, Green Diva
Thank
Peg,
you so
and everybody
much.
who's listening and watching. Bye.
Take care.
So, what'd you think?
Let us know.
And in the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the usual social media places.
And I have a favor. Think about who you know that might enjoy the show and invite them to tune in. Thanks in advance.
Do it!